In this lesson, we are going to learn how we can change the status of a to-do item and mark it as completed. So we will start by adding Ion item options to our Ion item sliding in the list that will reveal hidden buttons when the list item will slide to either left or right, and then we'll write the code to mark the list item as completed. Finally, we'll remove all the completed to-do items from the list. So here we are back inside Visual Studio Code, and you can see that I am on the to-dos page where I get a list of all the to-do items that I have created in the application. So first things first, inside the Ion item sliding, we'll use Ion item options component and we'll give it a side of end. This will place the hidden option button towards the right, and we will have to slide the list item towards the left to reveal it. Inside this Ion item options, we will have an Ion item option, and this will have a color of secondary, and I'll also place in an icon inside this button. The icon that we want to have has the name checkmark. Let's save that and see how it looks. So here I have the list, and if I slide the list item towards the left, I get the option button that is otherwise hidden. So now let's go ahead and write the code to mark the list item as completed when the user taps on this hidden button. So I'll wire up the click event of this button to a function, and let's call this function as mark completed. To this function, we'll pass in the whole document object, which is to-do, as an argument. Let's save that, and now we need to create this function called mark completed. So I'll go back to todos.page.ts file, and at the bottom, I'll create this function called mark completed. This function receives a document which is of the type query document snapshot as a parameter. And inside this function, we'll write the code to set a field in this document called status as completed. So here I'll use the Firestore SDK. To access a particular document, we'll use the doc function which takes in the document's unique ID. You can access the document's unique ID using document.id, and on this, we'll use the set function. The set function allows you to update an existing field or create the field if the field does not already exist in the document. In our case, as of now, the status field does not exist inside our documents. So we'll also modify the code to add the new to-do items to the list so that all the new documents have the status field. For now, we'll just pass in the value of status as completed, and we'll also pass in a second parameter to the set function, which takes in a JSON object, and here you can pass in some options. The only option that I'll pass in is called merge, and we'll set it to true. Setting the merge value to true ensures that only the fields that we are passing in to the set function are updated or created. All the other fields remain unaffected. Let's save that, and once the document has been updated, we can execute the promise on this. So inside the callback for the then function, we'll use the toast controller to display a toast notification to the user to confirm that the to-do item has been marked as completed. So we'll have to import the toast controller to use it inside our then function. I'll display this toast notification only for 2 seconds, and then finally we'll present it to the user. Let's save that, and now we need to modify the code inside our getToDos function to only get the documents that have the status value other than completed. So here I'll use another where function, and to this where function, I'll pass in the first argument as status, the second one as the equality operator, and the third one as incomplete. So incomplete will be the status of all the to-dos by default when they are created. So we'll have to modify a little bit of code inside the add to-dos page as well. So I'll open up the add-todo.page.ts file, and here where we are passing in all the properties for a new to-do, we'll also pass in the status property, and we'll set it equal to incomplete. So all the to-dos that will be created from now on will have the status of incomplete, and we only get all the to-dos on our to-dos page that have the status of incomplete. Once a to-do has been marked as completed, it will no longer appear in the list of to-dos. So now you can see that I do not get any to-do items on the page. So we need to fix that. So I'll go back to my Firebase console, and here for these to-dos, I'll create the status property manually. So now that I have added the status property manually in these documents, let's go back to our application and see if we get the documents now or not. So I'll log in, and now you can see that I get 2 documents. I'll just go ahead and slide this second one towards the left, and I'll tap on this button that will mark this to-do item as completed. So now you can see that the item is no more showing up in the list, and I also get the toast notification which confirms that the list item has been marked as completed, and therefore it is no longer showing up in the list. So now that we are able to manage the status of our to-do items, in the next lesson we'll learn how we can log the users out of the application and clear the session so that another user can log in to the application.